WENJ, WENJ HD Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app. Now, live from the Matt Black Kia Studios.
What a move!
Here's Josh Hennig.
Josh Hennig here on a Friday edition of Game Night Super Wild Card Weekend. Yes, the NFL playoffs are back, and you can hear it all right here on 97.3 ESPN FM. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. is the coverage, and Sunday, 1 o'clock kickoff on 97.3 ESPN. We will get into all the NFL matchups with Andy McNamara, who joins us every Friday to talk football here on Game Night. Plus, we will get into some of the latest minor news on the Eagles front. We'll get to that as well coming up here on 97.3 ESPN. You can join the conversation. 609-403-0973 is the text board. You also can DM the show, excuse me, through the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. A couple items to get to here. First of all, for those who didn't see, we pretty much know who's playing and not playing this weekend. There's only a couple outstanding situations. You know, Mike Williams, for example, the Chargers, has officially been ruled out. Lamar Jackson has been officially ruled out. There was speculation all week about both players. Tyler Huntley is questionable. And as I was mentioning to Mike Gill earlier on Game Night, on the Sports Bash, before Game Night here on 97.3 ESPN, I'm trying not to overthink this weekend because there is paralysis by analysis. A lot of times when we talk sports, we can break things down 20 ways from Sunday. You know, there's a million ways you can figure out who's doing this, who's doing that. But to me, I'm just going to simplify that most of the games this weekend are going to purely come down to talent availability. If Tua Tagovailoa and Lamar Jackson were both available to play in their games, I think we would all feel very differently about their respective games between the Ravens and the Bengals for Lamar and the Dolphins and the Bills for Tua. I think it's very fair to say that in the climate that we are in right now, we don't always appreciate that talent wins a majority of the time in the NFL. Brock Purdy is not winning the games by himself for the 49ers. He has one of the 3 or 5 best offensive lines in the NFL. He's got Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, and Brandon Ayuk on his offense, and his defense is arguably the best in all of football right now. So the reason why most people are picking the 49ers to win their game is because they're the better football team, not because of Brock Purdy. The reason why Tua and Lamar matter the way they do is because Lamar's ability to create and be a playmaker elevates him to a point where he can cover up the deficiencies of the Ravens roster. Because the Ravens offensive personnel, there might be, 3 guys on the Ravens' entire offensive roster who would start for other NFL teams? That's pretty much it. Most of the Ravens' defensive personnel, their starters could start on other teams, but not the Ravens' offense. The disparity between the Ravens' offensive roster and the Bengals' offensive roster is disgusting of how much of a gap that is. The reason why the Dolphins are in a predicament is, one, because they have to travel and go to Buffalo. So you're already at a disadvantage there. Two, we know that the Dolphins offense has executed at a higher level with Tua than either of the other two quarterbacks, Teddy Bridgewater or Skylar Thompson. And look, Skylar Thompson was a nice college quarterback. He had some nice wins at Kansas State, but he is not the kind of quarterback who is going to be able to consistently execute that Dolphins offense at a high level. And the only chance the Dolphins have of making that game interesting on Sunday is if they run the football. So to me, I look at the situation going on and I say, look, it's talent that matters in these matchups. And look, I'll give you my all of my official picks a little bit later. But I do think that it's very interesting that there are so many people trying to overthink the conversation. They're trying to overanalyze things, trying to break it down 7 different ways. And to me, it's just as simple as the team with the talent's going to win. Now, in matchups like the Cowboys and the Bucks, or the other NFC matchup, the Giants and the Vikings, it's not as clear cut as the better team is going to win, and here's why. Because one, with Cowboys and Buccaneers, who's healthy? Whose injuries are going to be less impactful? That's the big question going into that game. Because both teams have suffered extensive injuries this season. Cowboys have lost offensive linemen, and the Bucks have lost offensive linemen. Cowboys have lost guys in the secondary. Bucks have lost guys in the trenches. Both teams have had numerous injuries across their rosters that have impacted their ability to be consistent this year. So to me, I think that it's very simple equation that you can't overtly, take it to the bank that the Cowboys or Bucks are winning. Now, I have an opinion who's going to win, and I have my reasons why one guy versus another is going to win. But it doesn't mean that it's a guarantee. I'm not, it's not the Stone Cold Lead Pipe Lock of the Week of the Century, kind of deal. So, but I think in some of these matchups, it's very simple. And I think that for Seattle and San Francisco, for Miami and Buffalo, and for Baltimore and the Bengals, those 3 games are going to probably be, by the end of the game, pretty definitive why the one team won. Which brings us to the Eagles. The Eagles are a team that, let's be realistic, if they are healthy, they are one of the best teams in the NFL. But the injuries that they are processing through does leave there to be concern. Because we know that Lane Johnson spoke to the media on Friday, and he says that he's holding off surgery because he believes that the Eagles have a chance to do something special. That's why he was able to go out and attempt some practicing today. And it's so important for Lane to at least try to give it a go, because Lane Johnson is one of the most important players on this roster. I think if you had to name the big 3 in terms of importance, it's Kelsey, it's Hurts, and it's Lane. And then A.J. Brown is probably in the conversation as well. Everyone else in some way is replaceable or interchangeable, or there's not a huge drop-off with those guys. And I don't think it's purely a coincidence of all the guys that got named to the All-Pro first team and second team. Jalen Hurts, All-Pro second team. quarterback. Yeah, he got the second team ahead of Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. Process that for a moment. Lane Johnson and Jason Kelce were both first-team All-Pros. Hassan Reddick was a second-team AP All-Pro. James Bradbury, second-team All-Pro. This team has elite talent. But it all lies on Hurts and Lane Johnson. I know a lot of people will point to they can't make mistakes. They can't have turnovers. And I totally agree with that. Dan EHT brought up yesterday that the Eagles just have to not make mistakes and they can win. I'm not saying Dan EHT is wrong, but what I am saying is there is something to be said for having the best guys available when you need them, how you need them, on the field, getting the job done. And that was what the real value was of the bye week. Because you're going to see this weekend what happens when you don't have enough talent. You are going to see the Seattle Seahawks offensive line struggle against the San Francisco defensive front. This weekend, you are going to see what happens when an inferior quarterback like Skylar Thompson tries to lead an offense that was not built or made for him go out there and try to win. You are going to see this weekend what happens when a guy not named Lamar Jackson tries to lead a Ravens team that has basically only 2 or 3 guys who actually would start on any other team in the NFL. J.K. Dobbins and Mark Andrews are 2 very talented players. But aside from them, I don't think many other guys on the Ravens offense are bona fide starters in this league. That's why, to me, some of these picks that I'm going to give you later in the show are very obvious. Others, not so obvious. But I'll still be watching, and you can listen to it all right here on 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. Josh Hennig hanging out with you on a Friday. Still to come, Andy McNamara will join us for more NFL analysis and some fantasy football, DFS, fantasy football playoff pool picks, all that and more still to come. And you can join the conversation at 609-403-0973 is the text board. You can also DM the show through the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. And don't forget, tonight we have college basketball here on 97.3 ESPN. Tonight's game is a Big Ten showdown. Coverage begins at 8:45. We will have Michigan State versus Illinois. Tomorrow, we have the NBA at 12:30 p.m. here on 97.3 ESPN. The ESPN NBA Saturday early game here on 97.3 ESPN FM is Bucks and Heat. Coverage begins at 12:30. Following that, at 4 p.m. will be coverage of the NFL playoffs. And then, of course, Sunday, we'll have more coverage with kickoff at 1 p.m. here on 97.3 ESPN and Billy Schweim. And the locker room leads you up to all that exciting sports action this weekend on 97.3 ESPN.
Saturday morning in the locker room with Billy Schweim. It's wild card weekend, and we'll get it all started. 3-time All Big Ten linebacker Brad Quast joins me in the studio. First, we'll talk with the sportsbook consigliere Dave Sherapan, brought to you by Dino's Subs and Pizza of Margate. Next, it's the fantasy football guru Brian Hartley, brought to you by Padula Masonry. Then our special guest will talk with the head coach of the Kentucky Wildcats football team, Mark Stoops, on college football and more. It's the locker room with Billy Schweim, Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to noon on 97.3 ESPN.
Is your current vehicle out of shape? Its overall appearance not so great? Need a New Year's resolution? Matt Black Mitsubishi has your solution. Bring any trade to Matt Blatt Mitsubishi and drive home in a brand new Mitsubishi. Like the all-new 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander with 0 down and 0% financing. A 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty for the price of most used cars and 0 down and 0 interest. Plus, used car values are at an all-time high. Are you aware that your trade is worth more than you think? Why would you buy a used car or pay high interest rates? Get to Matt Blatt Mitsubishi and put 0 down and pay 0 interest for 36 months. Matt Blatt Mitsubishi keeps the rates low. And with our 4-day love it or leave it return policy, you can't go wrong. Simply Matt Blatt Mitsubishi. Rate qualifications exist with approved credit. 2778 per 1,000 financed on in-stock 2023 Mitsubishi Outlanders. Not all will qualify. Go to mattblattmitsubishi.com for complete details or call 844-946-2315. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer except for licensing, registration, and taxes. Expires 1/31/23. Matt Blatt Mitsubishi. In the heart of Glassboro for 30 years.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent, but then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try Babbel for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Dr. Trudy Fleer here with the 5G Home Recovery Podcast. Let's talk about mobile users getting priority over T-Mobile home internet users, shall we? You don't know them. Why should they take your internet? I get it. We're raised to share, but always coming in second, paying to be taken advantage of? No, thank you. With Xfinity, there's only one priority, and that is YOU. So come on, people, say yes to Xfinity. Learn more at xfinity.com/TMOFax.
Now through March 21st, new customers can get 400 megabits per second internet. It's all just $30 a month with a 2-year rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile at regular rates. Go to xfinity.com/TMOFax, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. After promo, regular internet rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Right now, you can get free carpet installation from the Home Depot. So while we're putting in your new carpet, you'll have more time to take care of the lawn. Get started on dinner. Or just lay down and relax on your new carpet after it's installed. Get your free carpet installation started with the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Minimum purchase of $4.99. Exclusions apply. U.S. only. See store for details.
At Ocean First Bank, our first thought is you. We put you first in all we do. Community banking for a century. We treat you like your family. Whatever you need, whatever you dream, let's make it a reality. Ocean First Bank, putting you first.
Ring in the new year with a CD rate that, well, rates. For a limited time, lock in a 13-month term for 4.25% APY with as little as $10,000. Don't delay. Visit oceanfirst.com for complete details.
Whatever you need, whatever you dream, let's make it a reality. Ocean First Bank, putting you first.
Certain rules and restrictions apply. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Get back to business and start the year strong with an HP printer from Staples, like the HP LaserJet MFP M234 SDWE printer. This compact multifunction printer features blazing fast print speeds. It's the fastest two-sided printer in its class. Plus, with the HP Smart app, you can print, scan, and copy from anywhere. And Staples has the best deals on a full range of HP printers. Right now, save up to $100 on the HP LaserJet. But hurry, this offer is good this week only. Offer good in-store and online. Ends 1/14.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Can't go to the game? Be at the center of the action at Chickies and Pete's, your favorite local sports bar, and enjoy our exclusive in-game experience. The sound surrounds you. The energy takes over. You feel like you're at the game, but you're only at Chickies and Pete's. Even better, no concession lines. Go to Chickies and Pete's on game day for our one-of-a-kind in-game experience. You're in the game at Chickies and Pete's.
Check out Chickies and Pete's all-new happy hour every weekday starting at 4:30 p.m. Enjoy select craft beers, seltzers, and wines for $5, plus feature cocktails for $7, and our special happy hour food menu. We call it the Bar Board, with world-famous crab fries, tasty pretzel nuggets, and get ready, fried cheese and pepperoni with crispy bacon and Dijon cheese sauce. Chickies and Pete's all-new happy hour every weekday starting at 4:30 p.m. Chickies and Pete's. You're listening to Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Game Night being brought to you by Jenkins & Sons. One call does it all. Yes. The number is 609-641-6262. There's no need to call the drain guy and the heater guy and the plumbing guy. No, you get all in one with Jenkins & Sons. From new heating and air installations, service and maintenance, ductless air systems, water heaters, boilers, oil services, drain cleaning services, leaks, whatever you need, Jenkins has you covered. Yes, call them at 609-641-6262 and online at jenkinsandsons.com. It is Super Wild Card Weekend, even though some of the games themselves are not very super. And to talk more about it, he is back for another edition of Friday Football Talk. Andy McNamara is back here on Game Night on 97.3, and he is relentless.
Brother, how's it going? This is my new DDP yoga shirt, man. This is my new DDPY shirt. I've been doing it for like 4 years. It's phenomenal. As you can tell, super shape, baby. I'll make the pecs flex next time. For those watching on the YouTube.
I do like the shirt, though. It's good look.
It's cool. It's a great shot. Like, all seriousness, I love DDPY. It is awesome. It's a really cool program.
So let's get to some of the news and notes before we get to the actual games. I think most people expected that Tua and Lamar were not going to play this weekend, but I think the fact that they are not playing, it's like I was talking with Kalen Kane for The Athletic yesterday, it's just a letdown. Like the Dolphins game at least would have been interesting, right? You know, and the Ravens game, it would have been your edge of your seat you have to watch. And now it's like, you just know the Bengals and Bills are going to win.
Yeah, especially the Bills. And you're right, both sides for sure, but like more for sure, the Bills. Like I have a cousin who's a Dolphins fan. He's like, Andy, I'm going to Buffalo to try to hope for a miracle. It's like, guy, it's just not going to work. Stay at home, be warm, okay? Those Buffalo fans, they get into the beer pretty early. People are going to want to throw down with you, and your team is going to get curb stomped. Stay home. It's all. There's no Skylar Thompson, please. Come on.
Yeah, and I was saying before you came on, like, I think this weekend is a perfect example of how, over-analysis causes paralysis, because some of these matchups, it literally is who has more talent. Like, for example, the talent gap between the Ravens offensive roster and the Bengals roster in general is exponential. Like, there's 3 guys on the entire Bengals offense who would ever start for any other team in the NFL?
Yeah, and you know what it is interesting because that Bengals line for a couple of days has been at 9.5. I see it now on ESPN's dropped to 8.5. I wonder if that's just the only reason I can put behind it is people thinking the Ravens defense, which is really good. They might maybe they hold the Bengals a little bit honest, but Josh, man, what are you doing on offense? How are you getting more than a couple of Justin Tucker field goals? There's nothing there.
You're not.
Isn't. Right. And people are like, Tyler Huntley. I hope Tyler Huntley plays. Tyler Huntley's not good either, people. Come on. I don't care who it is. The third guy who the Bengals just beat, Huntley, and Lamar's not playing.
Right, exactly. I mean, the over-under is 40.5 in that game. I mean, listen, I'm okay with taking the under in that game because I know that the Bengals and the Ravens both have good defenses. So the Bengals defense will just dominate a miserable offense, and the Ravens defense will slow down Joe Burrow. Ooh.
Yeah. It'll keep them honest. And that 40.5 is going to be like 28 from the Bengals, like 6 from Baltimore, right? Like,
maybe even 9. I don't know. Maybe they get 9 out of it.
Maybe they get 9. Justin Tucker can hit him from just about anywhere. Maybe they get 9. But look, I have to say I am really looking forward to that game because, Josh, as you know, I despise the Ravens. And I look forward to being able to continue to say this, and this happens whether they win or lose, that Lamar Jackson has the same amount of playoff wins as Baker Mayfield. And you got to sit on that, Ravens fans. That makes me feel good.
Does it? You feel better about things?
I do. I feel better. This is a therapeutic for me, Josh. I come on to let my, to have a little therapy session with you. I think though for the Bengals, this is key. You got to get out of this one healthy, obviously, because now really what you're setting up is after this weekend, those big three, right? Of how is this going to play out between Kansas City, Buffalo, and Cincinnati in the AFC? Really interesting. And I got to say this too. I believe DeMar Hamlin's going to be at the Buffalo game. I think that's sort of the plan, or he's going to pop in or something.
That's the story that's going around, correct?
Now, Josh, this is what I'm thinking, okay? If you're going for motivation, if you're going for that extra push, if you're going for that get out of the chair thing, out of a movie, you're beating the Dolphins. Save it for Kansas City. Save the motivation for Kansas. You don't need it versus Skylar Thompson. You need it versus Patrick Mahomes. Come on.
Well, the problem is that if the Chiefs and Bills play, it'll be a neutral site.
Yeah, Atlanta. Yeah, exactly. But you know what I mean? Save the motivation. You don't need the motivation. You don't need that. You're going to win that game.
Listen, I would put them on the big screen on the Jumbotron, if they still call it that, and let him say hi to everybody for the kickoff. Let the crowd go nuts, but don't bring him out for this game.
Right.
Bring him out for the next round.
Yeah. Have that as the motivation, as the true motivation. And Josh, you know what I got to say? Get a cheap plug-in for my interview with Jerry the King Lawler.
I saw that.
Phenomenal. On my Twitter, the link at AndyMC81, Instagram at AndyMCSports, and on YouTube, The Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara. The reason I bring that up is because Jerry gave an exact example. He's like, Andy, I had the same thing happen to me in the ring 10 years ago that happened to DeMar Hamlin. And he told a fascinating story about it. He kind of buried CM Punk along the way, which was very interesting. But the same thing happened, and he was able to outline what happened to him, and then the same exact thing that happened to DeMar Hamlin, and then also the recovery process coming out of it. Very interesting. If you guys do get a chance, it is worth a watch.
Definitely. I thought it was a lot of fun. Well,
thank you. Yeah,
especially when he turns around and starts saying, "Hold on, let me show you my memorabilia."
I was like, "What? We're going on a tour." I asked the King. I said, 10 minutes. Can you give me 10? We go a half hour. What a guy!
Love it.
Awesome.
Beautiful. So let's finish off with Buffalo, Miami, because that's where we're at. So when you look at that game, it's a two-sided question. Number one, if you're betting the game, are you betting anything more than just the Bills on the 13.5? And two, if you were in one of those playoff brackets where it's like you only could pick one guy from a team, what guy from the Bills is it?
So first, I was looking, I give my picks for each game and, a prop play for each. Honestly, I'd probably just stay away from this game altogether. But if I was to pick, I think the Bills do cover that 13.5. It went up actually a half point from earlier in the week. So I would take that. I think it's just going to be a dog. It's going to be one-sided. It's going to be a thump fest. That's it. If I'm picking one guy, I'm thinking, the obvious answer is Josh Allen. I'm wondering if you try to get a little cute with this one, though. And maybe they get up quick, and maybe do you go one of the running backs? So it depends. Like if you can only use, if it's, the type of leagues where you pick one guy for this round and then you can't pick him again or something like that. Do I want to use up my Josh Allen card now? Maybe. So I'd say Josh Allen will go with Singletary, because maybe you have to run this one out and, ease up when it gets late into the third quarter, into the fourth.
Interesting. Very interesting. Let's go to the night game, which is going to be way more interesting on Saturday night. By the way, Al Michaels is being rewarded for all the lousy Amazon games this year. He gets to call Chargers and Jags instead of Ravens Bengals. I mean, Al's got to be sitting there saying, "There is a God."
Poor guy. He's like 100 years old. He's like, why am I doing this?
Did you see his interview with Richard Deitch on
No.
The Athletic? I mean, he literally was like, he said, "I'm not a used car salesman. I've tried doing it before, but I don't do that anymore. So I got to call it as I see it."
I love it. Well, you know what? That's a great thing when you got like these all-time guys. What are you going to do? Fire Al Michaels? Okay. I think he's going to be fine. He can say whatever he wants. You actually get like truth out of it. It's great. Absolutely. I find this game very interesting. One, I think we might have a sneaky development here, Josh, of a quiet rivalry. If Trevor Lawrence continues to progress upwards of two of the best young quarterbacks going forward, Herbert, Lawrence, could be really fun there. You're in Jacksonville. I got to say, I'm going with the Jags in this one, man. 5 straight wins. The home game, I don't think that makes that much of a difference, for the Chargers. But, Josh, it just feels like the Chargers, it's something you can't put your finger on, but the Chargers always seem to screw up, right? They always seem to mess up, kind of like the Cowboys. They do something, and they mess up. And I kind of feel that you could go in 2 mindsets with this. One, the Jags are just happy to make it. Wow, you overcame Urban Meyer. You made the playoffs. You won the division. Exception. You are onward and upward. Peterson should be a coach of the year. And that's good enough. Or you look at it, this team clicking at the right time. Like I said, 5 straight wins. This is a crew that could be going. And a prop play I do like for this is a over 4.5 receptions for Austin Eckler and under 51.5 rushing yards. He's only rushed for more than 51 yards 6 times all year. So I think they're going to have to toss him a little bit more. So that's where I'm at. I think the Jags do win.
I'm riding with the Jags, and not just because I've been riding with them for weeks now. I think the reason why this game is a favorite for the Chargers is because from what I understand, I got an email earlier with all those like information about who's betting what. A lot of people are placing bets on the Chargers, and I think that's why this line is run this way. You can find the Jags right now at plus 120 at many sports books in this area. I feel like that is a winning proposition because you know what? Here's the thing. If the Chargers win with all the injuries they have, right? Mike Williams is out. J.C. Jackson, his season's over, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rashawn Slater, he's still not come back yet, right? Like this team is so banged up. And Justin Herbert has tried everything he can to get this team in the postseason. I just don't know if it's going to work against the Jags team. As you said, that's 1, riding high, and 2, Andy, that pass rush is incredibly underrated.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I think it's underrated because it's people just think of the Jaguars. Shoot, not paying it. You don't pay attention. And for a very long time, rightfully so. But now you have to pay attention. I think it might be that people are going to have to pay attention after they see what happens against the Chargers. Now, like Justin Herbert, I hope, like, he's so talented. I do hope at some point they get the team around him to help, like the Bills did, right? I consider Herbert a Josh Allen light. Size, arm, mobility, it's right there. You just need some better management and better pieces and retooling. And Mike Williams can't stay healthy. Keenan Allen has been on a bit of a run, but he's at the end and he can't stay healthy. You got some work to do with the Chargers, no matter how this game goes.
By the way, who's got the better hair, Lawrence or Herbert?
Oh, it's got to be Herbert. It has to be Lawrence because it's like it looks like silky. Like Herbert's is more like out of bed, like the old shampoo commercials guys come out, with the curly hair, all that. Trevor Lawrence looks like this man spends time. Justin Herbert wants to look for I'm shaking off the helmet. Trevor Lawrence like, no. I'm getting the hair straightener and I'm making this look proper. He's going out. I think you go Trevor Lawrence with the hair. Sunshine gets the nod.
It's funny because all the guys I've asked this week go Trevor Lawrence. All the women like Justin Herbert's hair.
Is it more like thick, luxurious? Maybe that's why.
The curls. They like the volume.
You like the volume.
The women bring up the volume.
Volume, yeah. We're not experts in that, Josh, with our number 1.5 on the sides, right? So
exactly. Well, listen, I made the analogy that look, Trevor Lawrence is like Ronnie Bass. He's Sunshine from Remember the Titans, right?
Yeah,
with his hair.
Yeah.
But you know who Justin Herbert is?
Who?
He's that guy. He's Snake Plissken.
Oh, from Kurt Russell. What's it called? Escape from New York.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yeah. There you go. Absolutely. Hey, and you know what? And you never know with those Chargers doctors. You might need an eye patch at some point. Careful, Justin. Careful. They got poor Tyrod. Careful.
I mean, the hair looks almost virtually identical, as Mike Goldberg used to say.
It does. It looks great. It's a nice flow. It's a nice mane. It's going to be some sweet, they should be getting some shampoo sponsors, some conditioner, and seeing to light it up. I hope.
Troy Polamalu's retired. Stop letting him be at Head and Shoulders. Let somebody else do it.
He's got the bait. We're done with. Come on. No, how many people? Not too many people are walking it a lot, like down here mid back like Polamalu. Let's move on.
He's Andy McNamara. We're talking the NFL Super Wild Card Weekend here on 97.3 ESPN. You can follow Andy on Twitter at AndyMC81. Andy, let's get to a couple other games before I let you go here. Seahawks, 49ers. Does Seattle have a chance?
No, Josh. No, they don't. They don't. Period. They don't have a chance. Geno Smith, that storyline. If we were seeing a Jacksonville-like trend or the Geno Smith trend at the from week three onward for a while, you might be able to talk me into something. But we've seen a leveling out. We've seen it coming back down to earth. We've seen maybe you don't want to give Geno Smith that big mega contract. However, kudos to him and Pete Carroll. That team was written off, by myself included. Him, Seattle's going to be picking at the top of the draft. No, they're gamers. They've got it. I think it's going to be. They're not going to be embarrassed, but they're also not going to win. And I got a fun little stat for you guys too. So one of the biggest challenges is going to be yards after catch. So for the 6th straight year, San Francisco led the NFL in YAC. Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel were 2nd and 3rd in YAC per game. Seattle's defense, 31st in yards against the catch allowed. Right there. Now, it's supposed to be wet. I don't really care. And a prop play for you, too. Take the over on the 1.5 passing touchdowns for Brock Purdy. All 6 starts, he's thrown for 2 or more.
That is true. He has thrown 2 in every single start. The other thing is, I haven't seen the exact number, but I'm going to try to look it up while we're talking. What is the over-under on rushing yards in this game? Because I know the Seattle has one of the worst rush defenses in the entire league.
And the thing is, you also have those extended runs. It's not like Purdy's throwing it 70 yards down the field, and especially if it's wet. You're dinking, you're dunking, you're getting it into the hands, and it's the coaching job again. Like we talk about great coach Kyle Shanahan. What a system! Tell me another team, Brock Purdy. Good on the young man. I'm not taking anything away from him. But you put him on most other teams. Yeah. Come on.
Deebo Samuel right now is 14.5 on the rush yards. That feels like a good take.
Absolutely.
Because here's the thing. McCaffrey is 73.5. I can see that going under because I can see him catching the ball.
That's the thing. I would want to take a look on your sportsbook of choice of what the combined yards are, if they have any of those props. That might be a bit of a truer test. I might like making that wager better. Combined yards are
here it is, rushing and receiving yards. See, McCaffrey's number is so high. They're almost discouraging you from betting it. It's 113.5.
Yeah, I'm not surprised if he gets it, but you're right. That's a bit high. I don't want that. The Deebo Samuel
I'll go back to Deebo. His total is 58.5.
I would take that right now. Absolutely, I would. I'd stay away from McCaffrey. 50. Come on. Right? I think that makes so much sense. And it's because you got that versatility with Deebo. Hasn't been used in that running back sort of role as much this year. But we know he can. And if it's wet and sloppy, you get it into the hands of your playmakers. Kyle Shanahan doesn't make things – he doesn't overthink it. He's creative.
He's not Avril Lavigne, man. There's no Avril Lavigne going on here.
No. I'd make it complicated. There you go. Canada's own. There you are.
By the way, one of the things Mike Gill was talking about this week on the Sports Bash was things that date you without telling your age. So, saying things like, you know who Avril Lavigne is probably something that dates us, right?
But it doesn't seem that long. I'm like, that was only a few years ago. And then you look at, oh, man, Avril Lavigne's
20
like
years
40.
ago. 20 years ago.
Yikes. That's not that long, man. I was talking to Jerry. When I was talking to Jerry Law, he was like, this is his 53rd year wrestling and the 35th anniversary of Raw. And I'm like, I remember being, very aware and watching the first episode over. I'm like, oh man, that's not good.
It's like, what happened?
What happened to my life?
2 more games I want to hit on with you before I let you go.
Okay.
Giants and Vikings. Which of these stats? I'm going to literally ask you the same exact question I asked yesterday. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Which stat are you buying? The Vikings are 11-0 in one-score games, or the Vikings have a -3 point differential?
Ooh. Well, the 11 victories by 1 score jumps out to me, Josh, as making them watching them play, the fakest 13-4 team I've seen ever, because there haven't been 17 games that long. But like, it's, you know what I mean? This record, and look, you take the wins no matter what, so you can't take them away. But those could have been swapped, and some of those numbers swapped very easily. And that includes a 61-yard field goal Christmas Eve to beat the Giants as well.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a case where I think the Giants, again, great coaching job, Brian Dable, to have the Giants, never mind 500, make the playoffs. Like, well done, right? Like, that's for the talent they have. You look at Minnesota, all that Kirk Cousins has to do is make sure Justin Jefferson gets the ball thrown his way 15 plus times. Let the man work. And when you're not doing that, hand it to Dalvin Cook and chill. The talent-wise on the other side of offense for the Giants, it's got to be just clock control, right? Get in the hands of Saquon, design runs by Daniel Jones. Josh, I just don't think they're doing it. That 3 points is very interesting to me because, like, if I'm just looking at it, I'm thinking, all right, maybe Minnesota takes it by a touchdown. But then you get to thinking, well, they do have those close games. They do struggle when the lights are bright. I just think I think the Giants have come as far as they're going to go.
I think the smarter move in this game is to take the over 24.5 team total for the Vikings. I think that's probably the safe thing to do.
Yeah, I would take that. A prop I like, Dalvin Cook under 70.5 rushing yards. He's rushed for under 70 in 4 of his past 5, including that win against the Giants. So I'm going to take the under. Yeah, I'll take the under for Dalvin.
Interesting. Final game I want to get to with you. It's the game that some people are saying the loser fires their head coach. It's Dallas. It's Tampa. It's McCarthy. It's Bowles. It's Dak and his interceptions and Brady and his screaming.
This is a case, and I wonder, Josh, in this. There's the saying, perception is reality. And we've seen it for years with Brady and Belichick in the New England days. It depends what the opposition, if they believe the perception that they're unstoppable or can win, if they make that their reality. Is that going to happen to Dallas? We know they have blunders. We know Mike McCarthy can't manage the clock. Facts. Too many examples to list. So do we have it? Because if we just look at this on paper, offense, come on. You got a vastly superior team with the Cowboys. But with Tampa, you got the thing you can't put your finger on. Tom Brady playoffs. And Josh, I kind of want to see that go down like this. First of all, I love chaos with Jerry Jones because, McCarthy's being fired, and then they'll try to get Sean Payton in and giddy up. Let's have some fun.
Right.
But you get Brady. Let's say Brady wins one. The storylines. Brady has a very rare. When was the last time you could say Tom Brady was an underdog? He has that chip on his shoulder that he hasn't been able to have for 15 years. More. So now you have that. I want to see the old man win one more. Make it interesting. Make that storyline interesting. Kick Dallas out because Dallas really, Josh, on paper, Dallas has no business losing this game. None.
Yeah, but Dallas got a lot of injuries too. They're down 2 cornerbacks in their secondary. They're down one of their starting offensive linemen. I mean, for goodness sake, they're trotting Jason Peters out at right tackle this season. I mean, that's how bad it got at one point. So,
well,
I mean,
and your mentions on the cornerbacks leads me to my prop play for the Bucks. You get plus 150 money, plus 150 on an anytime touchdown by Mike Evans.
Oh,
dude, he got 3 last week, right? Week 1, Tampa beat Dallas, and Mike Evans had one back then too. An anytime big-bodied comfort guy to Tom Brady just chuck one up at an anytime plus 150. I love that.
That is definitely a value play,
right
there.
There you go. That's why you tune in, folks. Boom.
He's
relentless.
You can follow him on Twitter at AndyMC81. Check out his conversation he had with the King, Jerry Lawler, and he joins us each Friday to talk NFL. As we only have a few more weeks of these football games to preview, so we got to cherish them, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And next week we get to talk about the Eagles and who they're going to kick in the pants next week.
Andy, always appreciate you jumping on. Take care of yourself.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later.
And of course, our conversation with Andy McNamara being brought to you by Jenkins & Sons. One call does it all. 609-641-6262 for new heating and air installation service and maintenance, including air conditioning systems, water heaters, boilers, drain cleaning services, everything you need. JenkinsandSons.com. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night. We'll wrap up the show next on 97.3 ESPN.
Westwood One has all the excitement of the Super Wildcard round of the NFL playoffs. On Saturday, it's the Seahawks and Niners, followed by the Chargers and Jaguars. Then a triple header on Sunday, featuring the Dolphins and Bills, Giants and Vikings, and the Ravens and Bengals. Then one final game on Monday night between the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Bucks. From the Wildcard round all the way to Super Bowl 57 in Arizona, the NFL playoffs are right here.
Listen to the Wildcard round of the playoffs this weekend on 97.3 ESPN.
When it comes to wings in the Delaware Valley, nobody beats the Piccalilli Inn. Whether it's South Jersey's best wings, tails, or ears, let them know you're sauce champion. All 10 delectable flavors are going head-to-head to battle for number one. When it's game day, you just gotta head to the Pick. Visit them on Facebook or at piccalilli.com for their Pick game specials. And be sure to pre-order to guarantee your spot in Sunday's lineup. Nobody beats the Piccalilli Inn. Visit the one, the only, the original Piccalilli Inn, Route 206 in Chemong.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. We personalized this ad for Amber, who really misses boy bands from the 90s.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
Just happy to be here. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Life doesn't stop when the economy is uncertain. The market might not care you have a wedding to plan or a kid to put through school. And inflation doesn't know you've got a family to feed. But Bank of America does, and is here to help. With digital tools to help you save and local experts in New Jersey, you can keep life moving forward the way you need it to. Bank of America. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at BofA.com/New Jersey. Bank of America N.A., member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try Babbel for free. That's BABBEL.com.
May old car problems be forgot in a brand new SUV.
Stop! You can't start the new year in an old car. Looking for some holiday cash? Then don't miss Matt Platt Nissan's Holiday Vehicle Buyback. It doesn't matter what you drive. AJ, the trademan, wants to buy your vehicle today, regardless of the make, miles, condition, or situation. AJ will buy your ride for cash today. So treat yourself to a brand new Nissan Rogue. 0 down, 0 payments, 0 interest on every new Matt Platt Nissan Rogue.
It's on at Matt Platt Nissan.
Drive away with peace of mind, because only Matt Platt Nissan has a 4-day love it or leave it return policy. MattPlattNissan.com. Requalifications exist with approved credit. 2778 per thousand financed on in-stock 2023 Nissan Rogues. Not all will apply. Go to MattPlattNissan.com for complete details or call 844-917-4758. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer, except for licensing, registration, and taxes. Expires 1/31/23. It's on at Matt Platt Nissan on the Black Horse Pike. Egg Harbor Township.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Okay, sports fans, JR here from jrwins.com. Guys, Wild Card Weekend, we make our clientele a fortune of money every single year, and nothing's changing this year. We're going to sweep the board. In fact, I'm releasing my Wild Card Game of the Year absolutely free to all listeners right now. Call this number and get it on a 30-second recorded message. Absolutely free. 800-499-3733. That's 800-499-3733. Call that number now. The hottest number when it comes to sports betting. 800-499-3733. My wild card game of the year free of charge right now on a 30-second message, no strings attached. Take advantage, just like last Monday when I told everyone that Georgia would clean up on TCU. Take advantage, guys. Call now. 800-499-3733.
Our locally owned and operated small businesses are the heartbeat of our community, and the 97.3 ESPN South Jersey industry aces stand out as leaders in their fields, like Broadley's HVAC and Plumbing, a family-owned plumbing and HVAC company that's been serving Cape May and Atlantic County since 1911, and Maharaja Indian Restaurant in EHT. Visit MaharajaRestaurantNJ.com and take your taste buds on a journey. Support one of these fantastic industry aces today.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
All right, wrapping up the show. Don't forget, you can hear all the action of the NFL playoffs this weekend on 97.3 ESPN FM. Coverage begins at 4 o'clock on Saturday, following the Bucks and the Heat game on 97.3 ESPN. And then Sunday, 12:30 p.m. is the coverage for the triple header on Sunday. And then Monday night, we have Cowboys, Bucks, all right here on your home for Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, and the NFL playoffs. 97.3 ESPN. If you are looking, by the way, for the Sixers and Flyers games tomorrow, you can hear both on our sister station, Rock 104.1. Flyers drop the puck at 7 p.m. And then at right after that, around a little bit after 9, we'll get you the Sixers basketball on 97.3 ESPN. Shout out to Jeff in Ocean City, who's been waiting patiently for my official ideas, picks. Again, these are recommendations and my analysis. These are not locks or guarantees. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. I've been giving you guys winners each and every week, so I hope you guys have been cashing in like Jeff in Ocean City has been. All right, so let's get to a couple of these. Number one, I'm riding with the Jags. I love the money line in that game, and I love the money line in the Cowboys-Bucks game. I think both the Jags and both the Bucks win their games. I think that the Chargers are going up against a smoking hot team right now without all the firepower they need. No Mike Williams is definitely going to hurt them. And I think the Cowboys and the Bucks is probably going to be a lower scoring affair than people realize. And in my personal opinion, I think that game is probably going to be a little ugly by the end of that game. So will the Ravens and the Bengals. I like the under in the Ravens and the Bengals actually more than the Cowboys and the Bucks. I know the over-under is only, I think, was it 40.5? I just got to find it real quick. There it is, 40.5. I still like the under. I think it's a game where the Bengals win it probably like 24-10. You know, I just think the Ravens, they just don't got it. Without Lamar Jackson, they're not the same team, not even close. I like the Bills cover to 13.5. I like the Niners to cover the 9 or 9.5. If that gets to double digits, stay away from it. I think the Giants Bengals spread is a must stay away. scenario. Honestly, I think the Vikings-Giants game is a must stay away on multiple fronts. So then you heard Andy McNamara's suggestions and picks as well for the weekend. So again, I think coming out of this weekend, you're going to see the 49ers, the Jags, the Bills, I guess the Vikings, Bengals, and Tampa. I'll be sitting in tomorrow with Billy Schwein, producing him for the Locker Room on 97.3 ESPN from 10 a.m. to noon. Then tomorrow at 12:30, we have Bucks versus Heat, followed by NBA Super Wild Card Weekend Saturday games coverage begins at 4 o'clock. Thank you for listening to Game Night here on 97.3 ESPN. I'm Josh Hennig. Have a great night, everybody.
This is the radio home for Eagles playoff football with the legendary voice of the Eagles, Merrill Reese and Mike Quick, calling all the play-by-play action.
Here comes the rush. They've got him. Sack number 1. Hassan Reddick.
Wow. Philadelphia Eagles football on 97.3 ESPN is brought to you by
the D'Amato Law Firm, the Piccalilli Inn, First Bank of Sea Isle, EMT Solar and Roofing, Jersey Shore Federal Credit Union, Jenkins Plumbing and Heating, GMS Law, Cape Regional Health System, Sun Valley Pool, BMW of Atlantic City, Boardwalk Honda, and Clark's Moving and Storage.
This is where the Philadelphia Eagles play. 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's official Eagles station.
97.3 ESPN FM is your official home in South Jersey for Eagles football.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.